Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Lisa's Coloring Corner. If you're new here, hi and welcome to the channel. And if you're back, welcome back. We have another set of colored pencils I'd like to show you. This is the Blick Studio colored pencils. They come in a set of 72. However, there are some you have to purchase separately, and I don't like it when companies do this. Give us one big complete set. So there aren't too many grays in the 72 set. So if you are one that likes working with your grays for shading and whatnot, there is a 12 set of grays. But in addition to that, there are a number of pencils that you have to purchase separately. As I go through the colors, you're going to notice there aren't a lot of pinks in that set. So if you buy these separately, these are not included in either one of these sets. So there are 7 that you have to purchase separately. So we have some skin tones. We have a light purple and a blue and some pinks. So let's go ahead and look at the sets themselves. So here we'll go through the little set first. And they come in these tins, which are Lisa proof. Okay, so they do have this plastic I see over the top. Can I just take it off, or do I gotta cut it? Okay, we have to cut it. Just a minute. So they do come packaged relatively nice. Again, I don't know why they just don't include them all in one. So we have 12 different grays. We have some warm grays and cool grays in here. Cool gray 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and then the same for the grays. So you have all your warm and cool grays in this additional set of 12. Then the big set, the 72. The tin, the lid does come off. Let's look at the back of the tin before I take that off though. So we have this artwork on the front. It says Artists Colored Pencils, High Pigmentation, Blendable, Fade Resistant. On the back of the case, it does say Professional Grade, Highly Pigmented Colored Pencil, Silky Smooth Color Laydown, Ideal for Drawing, Illustrating, Coloring, Brilliantly Balanced Shades for Superior Blending, Rich Fade Resistant Colors. So they are available in sets of 12, 24, 36, 48, 72. All 72 colors are sold individually. So that's the nice thing about these pencils is if there's a color or two that you use a lot of, either skin tones or greens, if you do a lot of foliage, you can purchase them individually. So 72 in here. With the extras that you can buy, there are 19 separate ones that you purchase. So all in all, the entire set is a total of 91 total colors. So these are wax base. We'll see how they color as far as wax. They do have, that's kind of nice. I like it when they do stuff like this. Easy to get the trays out. However, the trays themselves, as usual, very, very flimsy. I don't know about you. I keep mine in cases anyhow, so that doesn't bother me too much. So we have 2 trays of colored pencils. Let's take a look at the individual pencil itself. I'm going to zoom you down in here. Okay, so we do have a pre-sharpened tip. However, as usual, before I swatch them out, I am going to pause and I'm going to sharpen all of them. It does not have a capped end. However, Interesting. It is not a flat end. It's rounded a little bit. But the nice thing about not having them capped is you can see if they are centered. And this looks pretty good. To me, the capped ends just make it a little more polished. However, then you do not, you can't see if they are centered. So, okay, here we have the color name. We do have the bright glossy pigment or painting on here, and then that magnetic, oh my gosh, metallic gold writing. To me, that always makes it a little bit harder to read, but this lettering is quite big, so you can read these pretty well. So we have the color name, we have Blick Studio, and then we have the color name again. I'm not sure why they put it twice, but I guess I'd rather have it twice than not at all. Nice that they have it on this end so that when you're sharpening it down, you'll still be able to read the color name. To me, the farther down to this end, the better, because as you sharpen, you can still read the color name. Then on the back side, we do have the UPC code so that you can order them individually, and they are made in the Czech Republic. So, is this like a color number? Yes, there is a color number here. So this one is 069. Yeah, and this one is 042. So there is a color number also on the reverse side, and then the color name there on the front. All right, so there is a blender pencil from Dick Blick. I did not purchase that, which maybe I should have. We could have seen how the blender pencil worked. There is a thick cord. It is supposed to be 3.8. Now, if you've seen my haul for February last month, you'll see that I did show this. And this is what you can use to measure how thick the core is and how thick the barrel is. So let's take one out. Let's see. Now, the lead to me is going to be the hardest to measure because you gotta get right. Supposedly 3.8, and yes, that is what I have. Then the barrel itself, we have at 7.3. Well, it says, yeah, 7.2. It says here the pencil is 8.2. I don't have 8.2. I have 7.3. Interesting. Because if I zero it out, yeah, I have 7.3. Turn it back on. Okay, we'll zero it out. Yeah, I have 7.3. Interesting. Okay. So, pretty much your typical size of pencil. Okay, now they do also come in different sets. You can get, for instance, a landscape set, your gray colors, a portrait set, which is kind of nice because, again, if you do go through a lot of greens, if you color a lot of skin tone, if you want skin tones, you can buy those in separate sets. I think those are 24 sets. I didn't really look. Currently, the price of the 72 set, now again, that's as of now, as of today. The 72 set is $58.99. The set of 12 is $12. The other set, when you purchase them separately, these are $1.22 a pencil. So the total, what I paid for everything, was about $80. All right, so depending on how well these color, and we're also going to be doing a blending test. I printed out some leaves, and we're going to work with some greens. I'm going to swatch these a little bit differently. I created this sheet. After I get them in the order of kind of what I want, I'm going to write in the color name and number of each one. We're going to swatch on here. I got this idea from Color with Claire. And this is going to be so much nicer when I want to put them in my final color order before I make my color charts. Because what she did then is she cut all the squares out. And then you move them around to get to where you want all your colors. So if I swatch the yellows in here, I'll cut them out and I can move them around then on a table till I get them in the order that I want. Rather than going through my color charts that you're used to seeing and I swatch on that, well then I typically number like 1, no, I want that one next, number 2, 3, 4, 5, oh no, 7, 8, 9, you know what I mean? I number them all, then I write it all out again on a blank chart, re-swatch them again, and I do that like 3-4 times, so it's very, very time consuming, whereas this is going to make it so much easier. So thank you so much to Color with Claire. So yeah, this is how we are going to be swatching the pencils out from now on. So, okay, I think I covered everything as far as the look of the pencils and kind of the details. So again, I am going to pause now and I am going to sharpen them all, kind of get them in an approximate order, although they look like they're in a pretty good order. I will be adding in the extras where I kind of think they'll fit for now. Again, subject to change. But I will be right back. If I have a case for them, I'm not sure if I have extra pencil case. I have quite a few spares upstairs, so I may come back then and have these in a pencil case, also in its temporary order. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. So I took them all out of the tins. These tins are now empty. And I put them all in a pencil case. If I can find it here on my desk. Oh, Lordy. I have a number of pencil cases here. Okay, here they are. So, put it in this pretty pencil case. I'll leave a link to the pencil case down below, as well as, like I said, the pencils themselves from Dick Blick. This I got on Amazon, however. So I have them all in here, as well as the additional grays. So we're going to swatch these out. As I said in a previous swatching video for the Lyra, I am swatching these out a little bit differently now so that I can cut these out, thanks to Color with Claire's idea. And it's going to make my job quite a bit easier when making my color chart. So let us go ahead and start swatching. Do like the feel of these in my hand. And I do like the fact that these are available open stock. Okay, so I just like to swatch out of the white, kind of to see how the pencils feel. Ooh, they are nice and soft. Wow. Yeah, nice, soft pencil. All right, so let's get to the real swatching. And we have cream. Now, I started writing out numbers because I kind of thought that this number here corresponded to, you know, a color number. It doesn't. The number of, you know, the color of the pencil, because this number is repeated throughout. You know, it's also on some of the other colors, so it is not indicative of a color number for that color of pencil. So I am just going to go with the color names. So again, this one is cream. Oh, very creamy. They are a nice, soft pencil. And we have light yellow. So I am going from light to hard pressure. That's a nice sunny yellow, isn't it? Then we have yellow. A lot of color laid on with the pencils. Very pretty. Dark yellow. So I did sharpen all these. I have them in an approximate color order. We'll see. I'm sure I'll be switching them around. So dark yellow. Getting kind of into the orange yellow, yellow orange. Now this is kind of a dark yellow orange for canary yellow. You usually think of canary yellow as a brighter yellow. So I don't think of this as a canary yellow. So it's kind of like a light orange. Not too crumbly. Light orange. So yeah, there's a lot more yellow in the canary. Now keep in mind this is just cheap copy paper too. Naples yellow. Again, more on the orange side. And then we have cadmium orange. See, with this bright, shiny, glossy barrel, and then they always put this metallic lettering on. It's really hard to read unless you get it in the right light, especially if you're doing this at night, which is what I was when I did these. So again, a lighter orange, very nice. And we do have an orange yellow. So a little more orange in it than the cadmium orange. I am liking how they are going down even on this cheap copy paper. We have dark orange. Not too dark, but kind of looks like almost a true orange. We'll see what orange is like. To me, when I put these in order, it seemed to have more, more red in it than that. And it does. So to me, this would be the darker orange. Par for the course when they're naming these pencils for some reason. And vermilion. So now we're getting into some reds. I was kind of hoping this had more of a orangish red, a little bit of an orange undertone. Vermilion kind of seems to, which I guess it does. Now that I get to the darker part. We have scarlet red. That looks to be more of a true red. Very nice. Then we have cherry red. more of a pink undertone. You can definitely see more of the orange undertones with the previous two, which is nice. A couple more reds. We have Carmine Red. Again, very much on the pinker side of red. Kind of similar to the cherry red, but a little bit darker. And finally in the reds, we have Crimson Lake 1. Now, if you see a star by a color, that means that they are not included in the original 72 set. They are colors that you do have to purchase separately, even outside the set of grays. So these are pencils. These would be colors that you purchase individually. They're not included in any set. So this one is Crimson Lake 1. Why the number 1 is behind it, I have no idea. This one feels a little scratchier for some reason. A little bit of a drier color than the previous ones. And then this light peach. Oh, I got him in there. Oh my gosh, what was that one? I completely skipped this color. So that is not Crimson Lake 1. I have Carmine, and I think that's why I skipped it, because we have Carmine Red over here, and then there's Carmine. Huh. Interesting. So I'm going to just jot this down so that I know when I go through and create the chart, I'm going to have to add this one in. So this is Carmine. Which you see me swatch over there. Now we have Crimson Lake 1, which is a very light pink. I'll just swatch it up here. Very pale. Very pretty pink. So if you like pinks, you may want to pick up these extra pencils, because there's pinks in some skin tones that you purchase separately. So here's a light peach that you would also purchase separately, which is a beautiful pale skin tone. So if you like doing portrait work, you may want to pick up some of these colors. That's a beautiful skin tone. Okay, beige is included in the 72 set. A little bit more orange in this one. I wouldn't think of this as beige, but again, don't know who comes up with the color names. Then we do have blush pink that you would purchase separately. So another nice pale pink, but yet a little bit darker than that Crimson Lake 1. Salmon pink is another one that you would have to purchase separately. So it is a darker skin tone. Again, I guess I wouldn't think of this as salmon pink. And then peach you would have to purchase separately. So kind of like, you know, this one has a lot more pink to it, but kind of 3 skin tones you would have to purchase separately. And a couple of pinks. We do have another pink coming up that you would have to purchase separately, because there's really not a lot of pinks in the basic set. Why? I don't know. So here is pink. Ooh, that's pretty. That's a beautiful color. Then we have light violet. That's pretty. Yeah, these colors are laying down very nicely. So far, I am really liking these pencils. Then we have Bordeaux red. Kind of a maroon color. Although maroon has quite a bit of brown in it, so. And then the pink rose, which looks to be a beautiful color, but you would have to purchase this one separately. So another very pale pink. And then red violet. Pretty paler purple. And then violet. Another pretty color. We have permanent violet. I did not have any problems whatsoever in sharpening these pencils. Blue violet. None broke. And I sharpened them in my favorite pencil sharpener, which is my Afmat. I will leave a link below to that pencil sharpener. I love it because it is rechargeable. Now the one that I have is no longer available, but they do have an updated version. So, Windsor violet. Again, a lot of blue in this one. And then finally in the purples, it's called Delft Blue, however. But a very pretty purple. Darker violet. So we have some beautiful flower colors going on if you like botanical coloring. Now we get into the blues, and there's a lot of blues. We have mountain blue, which is this beautiful pale blue. That is pretty. I like that. We have ice blue, another pale blue, but more on the aqua side. The mountain blue seemed a little bit scratchy versus this one. Another beautiful blue, though. And then we have sky blue. Oh, that's pretty too. You can see this has a lot more green in it. So I won't be leaving it there. And light blue. Another really pretty blue. Azure blue. A little bit of a different undertone, more a little bit of green in this one. That's a gorgeous blue. I like that. And phthalo blue. We're used to that word, aren't we? See phthalo blue in a lot of sets. So you can see we already have some really pretty blues in this set. Ultramarine light. I have ultramarine blue. Very much a purple undertone, which you do see with ultramarine quite often. Cobalt dark. Yeah, boy, could tell I did this at night. Told you, it's hard to see. That gold lettering, the metallic lettering on a shiny barrel. But so many manufacturers do that same thing. I think the vast majority of them do. Again, I don't think of this as a dark color. And we have Prussian blue. Darker blue. This would be very pretty for shading. Cobalt blue. And the Prussian blue will be moved. That's a pretty blue. And then we have dark blue. Not super dark, but it is darker. A couple more blues to go. We have permanent blue. This one again feels a little bit scratchier, which it seems blues A lot of times, some of them are scratchier, and I don't know if it's just the pigments that they have to use in the blues. Using the blues. Finally, we have indigo blue. So we do have some nice darker blues in here, which is awesome. So different undertone than the permanent blue. Let's get into some greens. We have Bice green. Oh, isn't that pretty? Well, this is a very smooth color. Wow. I don't even have to turn the pencil to get to the dark part of it. Love that color. And then we have light green. Reminds me of an apple green. Again, it's laying down very nice. May green. More yellow in this. So these two would definitely be switched around. Well, here's the apple green. So far, I'm really liking these colors. Pea green. So, very much a blue undertone to this. Kind of a mint green. Beautiful. Grass green. Yeah, these greens seem quite a bit smoother than those blues. Not that they were bad. Dark grass green. Now, even though they're grass greens, they definitely have different undertones. So, yeah, these two would not go together real well. Not that you couldn't make them work, but emerald green. Sap green. Boy, a lot of nice greens if you like coloring foliage. Landscapes. Dark green. Oh, it is nice that we have a darker green. Blue green. Hope this is like a teal. Yes. Quite a bit of blue in it, but Gorgeous color. Then we have a couple of olive greens here. So this is olive green light. And yes, it is. And then we have dark olive greens, so we'll see how well these two go together. Much more of a brown tint to this one. So they are quite different, which is good. All right, let's go into the browns, but this one looked to have quite a bit of yellow in it, so I'm not sure if it'll be staying down here. Nope. I'll be moving this up by the yellows. Beautiful color, though. And then we have dark ochre. And again, not sure if I'm going to be leaving this down here. Possibly. We have burnt ochre. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Earth red. Yeah, a lot of red in that. Again, beautiful color. Light brown. Now the barrel of this is kind of misleading. Thought there was going to be more of a red undertone to it, but it doesn't. But it is a very nice color. It is a light brown. Not all sets have this, so it's nice to have that. Terracotta, usually one of my favorite colors, at least in markers. Oh yes. Again, I love my reddish browns for hair. And then a few more browns. We have raw umber. Almost has a green undertone, doesn't it? Different kind of brown. Three more browns. So you can see we do have quite a few. Burnt umber. So we're getting into the darker browns. Great for darker skin tones, darker hair. Just plain brown. There's still like a reddish undertone in that one. That's very pretty. Finally, we have dark brown. Oh, nice dark brown, like a chocolate brown. So good variety of browns in here. On to the grays. So we do have the grays that are included in the set, and then the ones with the plus sign are all the ones that are included in the 12 set. And none of these are duplicated in the 72. So if you buy it separately, they're all new colors, in addition to the ones that I have stars where you purchase individually. So the ones included in the set are light gray, so very pale, cool gray. And then gray, a little bit darker of a cool gray. And this one looks really nice. It's a bluish gray called steel gray. A lot of blue in this. Kind of like a Payne's gray, but it looks to even have more blue in it than Payne's gray. And then medium gray. Let's go on to the next page. Okay, a couple more in the that are included in the 72 set. We have slate gray. So these are not bad pencils. Nice variety. We have cold gray. Finally, in the set of 72, we have dark gray. So this one is much warmer than the cold gray. All right, now starting with the extra set of grays, you can see we have all cool grays and then the warm gray. So if you want a nice assortment of, you know, the cool and warm, you might want to purchase this separate. And this is extremely pale. This is cool gray 1. I shouldn't say that that was the last color in the 72 set, because we still do have the black and a couple of metallics. I just always have the grays before that. So cool gray 3. So still quite pale. But for those of you who like to, you know, use your gray pencils for shading, these light grays really are nice. Cool gray 5. I think that's a 5. Like I said, I did this at night, and now I have my lights up here too, so they're so shiny. So this is the 5. Again, we're getting a little bit darker. Yeah, that was 5 because here's 6. Cool gray, 6. So not a whole lot of difference between 5 and 6. It is a little bit darker. And cool gray, 8. So yeah, if you like your grays, this is a nice extra set to pick up. Finally, in the cool grays, we have cool gray 9. Very dark. Very close to black. Which I hope this means that the black is a very nice dark black. Don't always get that, so. Because, yeah, that's very dark. Okay, let's go on to the warm grays. So we have warm gray 1. I got these in the wrong order. Warm gray 1. Again, like the cool grays, this is extremely light. I don't even know if you can see this one. Holy cow. There isn't much pigment to this at all. I don't know when a person would use something that extremely light. But I am no artist, so. Warm gray 2. Now to me this is pale enough, but again, what do I know? Other than from a colorist point of view. And like I pointed out, I am not one that uses a lot of grays. So. Warm gray 3. So we're getting a little bit darker, still very pale. Whereas with the cools, we kind of skipped a number. So we had 1, 3, 5. Here we just have 1, 2, 3. Now we jump up to 5. So warm gray 5. Two more warm grays. We have warm gray 6. And then finally, warm gray 8. So now you're finally getting to some darker grays. Kind of did that one backwards, didn't I? It started darker. And then we have the black. So let's see how black the black is. Kind of hard to tell till we get to the harder pressure. Let's see how solid. Oh, it seems to be a relatively nice black. Yeah, it's a nice black. And then we have the two metallics. We have silver. Oh, and it is very smooth. Wow. Definitely slippery like a metallic. And then gold, last but not least. This doesn't seem quite as slippery as the silver was, but definitely feels like a metallic pencil. All right, we have them swatched. Let's see how shiny our metallics are. Oh, they are very shiny. All right. Okay, so let's zoom back out. We are going to look at all of the colors, see what we think about the whole color palette. Nice succession of yellows into the oranges. Love that. Into the reds. Like I said, with the additional colors, we have some nice pinks and skin tones. Beautiful purples. Again, for a smaller set, very nice. And blues. Ooh, pretty, pretty blues. Permanent blue and indigo are a little bit similar, but the indigo blue is definitely a little darker. Look at these pretty greens. And they are all different. There are none that are the same at all. Into our browns. And again, all very different. Beautiful. Into our grays. And of course, they're all going to be different because they are just succession of colors getting darker and darker. Beautiful. The metallics seem to be very nice also. I love this color palette. Love it. Especially with the addition of, you know, these that you have to purchase separately. I don't know why some companies do that. Just include them in the set. Or at least, you know, if they give you the, you know, the 72 set and the gray set, make one set that includes everything. Because like I said, with the addition of these that you purchase separately and the grays, there are a total of 91 colors. It just would be nice, these companies who sell some of these things separately, if they would just have one all-inclusive set. Especially in a situation like this, where you have to purchase these all as separate pencils, which is a little more unusual. Usually you can purchase separately a gray set or maybe a portrait set. You know, some have landscape sets, you know, things like that. But include one big set. Markers do the same thing. So it's not just pencils. I like these pencils. I really do. Let's see what they do on black. So, do I have my white? Me white? No, I don't. What did I do with that? Oh, well. All right, so we're going to do them down here. Let's just pick out a few. Let's pick out I'll just grab one. This one is a dark yellow, so we'll come down here. Let's zoom you back in again. Now, yellow, of course, is kind of hard to show up on black. So, yeah, not real, kind of translucent. Let's pick an orange. This one's a little more opaque. Now, wax pencils are typically a little more opaque than oil. Oil doesn't seem to usually do as well on black paper as wax, just because of what the pencils are made up of. Although you know that all pencils, whether they say they're wax-based or oil-based, they all have a combination of the two. It's just what they are mainly, you know, the largest composition, I guess you could say, of the pencil, whether it's oil or wax. That covered very nicely. Let's pick let's pick this one, a lighter purple. Yeah, that one covered very nicely. Oh, this one's quite translucent. Not bad though. We'll pick a blue. I just like getting one out of each color family. That looks very pretty on black. These actually aren't doing too bad. The yellow, of course. Yellows seem to have a problem anyhow, because they are kind of pale. We shall pick a green. And I am doing very heavy pressure just to see. Yeah, that one's a little translucent too. So let's pick a lighter brown. And then, of course, we will test out the white. Now, that one's quite opaque. That one's nice. And then finally, yeah, let's go ahead and test out that white. No. Quite translucent. Now, I can see on camera they all look like they're quite opaque. It's just how the camera's picking them up. A couple of the colors did really well. This here pink did really well. The purple and the blue did really well. But the others are kind of translucent. So, okay, what I have started also doing then is we're going to do a blending test. I have printed out a bunch of leaves, and this was the Lyra Rembrandt, and hopefully I'll remember which order to put these up because I'm recording all these at the same time. So I'm going to try to put up the Lyra Rembrandt polycolor first. And then we're going to color with the Blick Studio pencils here. So I'm going to just color this middle leaf with some green. So I think we'll use Bice Green as our highlighting green. And why don't we use Bice Green, May Green, maybe Grass Green? They all kind of have a yellowish undertone. Let's try that. So we have Bice. We have May Green, and then, what did I say? Grass Green. And Grass Green. Okay. So let's give these a try and see how it works. Now, I'm using paper that a lot of people like for pencil coloring, and it is called Vellum Bristol Cover Digital. This is by Spring Hill. I'll leave a link to this paper down below in the description, along with the other things I have mentioned. And it is a toothier paper, which is why it works great with colored pencils. It hangs on to the pigment. So I always like to do one light layer of the lightest color. Just makes it a little bit easier when you're bringing the other colors in, so you're not just working straight onto white. Come in with the darkest color. Maybe I should have brought in a darker color. Now I am not one that layers and layers and layers. But I do typically put a couple layers on when I'm blending. Come back down. We'll come in with our lightest and then blend that back in. Let's go over it again. Now I'm going to be pressing harder. Like I said, I am not one that does a million layers. I usually only do 2 or 3. 2 if I can get away with it. To blend, I kind of sometimes just go in circles. Come back down into the dark. These are blending beautifully. Finally, the light. And again, I kind of like to blend everything back in with my lightest color. Didn't that blend together nicely? I really like that. Do I have my broken Prismacolor blender, which is my favorite blender, and that does blend it in even nicer. Now, typically I burnish with my colored pencils to begin with. I don't use a lot of pencil blenders, but it did seem to work great with the Blick Studio pencils. Yeah, they blend together very nice. Nice, nice. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these pencils. And all these pencil swatchings and my initial impressions of them. Eventually, I do want to color a page with them, but it will take me a while. So I'm very slow with pencil. Very. And if you color with color pencil, you know that they just take so much longer than marker or me with my gel pens. So my overall opinion is, yes, I like them. I love the color palette. I like how they blended and lay down. So yeah, I really like them. Again, I'll leave links to everything down below in the description. So thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching it. I don't know if you made it all the way to the end or not, but if you did, thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. It really does help the channel. And leave any questions, comments, or concerns down in the comment section below. I love reading through your comments. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. I do usually try to post at least 1 video a day. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. As always, happy coloring, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.